All right, we are live. I don't think that last video recorded, so we're going to do another one here. Make it short. Okay, first of all, company updates. I'll get right into it. 0 Point Technologies LLC. Uh, Recently, I attended a event at Gonzaga University organized by 350 Spokane and Fuse. It was in regards to the future of renewable energy here in Washington State. So, upon the presentation that they had to offer, I discovered a few things. First of all, as much as Avista, which is the local main utility, would like people to believe that they're going all clean, what they revealed was a very different story. They revealed that they're still getting a good amount of their energy from an environmental ticking time bomb in Colstrip, Montana. When they showed me images of this coal refinery, I mean, it looks like Fukushima to me. The water around that area looks disgusting. They said that it had been shut down numerous times because of environmental infractions. And it was just shocking to me that these types of energy are still abundant and in existence. So when they discovered that I was a business owner and CEO of 0 Point Technologies LLC, a renewable energy minded company, they wanted me to sign up to go and lobby in Olympia, which is the Washington State capital, for renewable energy, and to lobby the lawmakers saying, yes, we want this clean energy bill passed. So at the end of this month, I have the opportunity to go to Olympia and to record media as 0 Point Technologies CEO, saying that, yes, we are here for you, for your clean future of renewable energy, Washington State. If you're passionate, join us and tell your lawmakers this is what we want. So I've not yet decided if I'm going to go. There's still a few things that have to fall into place. There's a lot that has to happen with the company. I'm going to be very busy in the next few weeks. However, I do not deny that it is an enormous opportunity for me, and I am leaning toward going. If I'm able to go and lobby in Olympia, then I will definitely do so, and I will record videos live as we are on the state capitol for all of you. I've been working with PCB Software as well. We are starting to design PCB templates for the technology that we will be building in our initial prototype. We are now branching beyond the educational / media outlet that we began as, and are really looking to get more into the lab, more hands-on with this R&D, getting us more personnel. So I feel that starts with me going to lobby in Olympia, and I'm hopeful that will work out. I met some largely Democratic crowd is local here and environmentally, I guess you would call it, active and engaged. They are very anti-Trump, and I mean, it's hard to blame them when you look at some of Donald Trump's environmental concerns. He is definitely more of a fossil fuel president than a renewable energy president. So it is largely Democratic, and I will have to reveal to them at some point my political affiliation is independent. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an independent. But if we can see eye to eye on clean energy, then we can absolutely work together. So it was a bit of an eye-opening event, as I said. I went there in a blizzard, on the bus on foot, which is what I do. Being the environmentally friendly guy I am, I've never had a vehicle. I've never had a driver's license, and I've always been able to get to where I need to go via public transportation. And I know that has saved a ton on any carbon emissions that I, as Matthew Garcia, would be putting out there. So, there's a lot of armchair activists out there who talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. And I want people to know that I am the same person you see before you now that I am online. And anyone who knows me will tell you that is the truth. So it's opportunity knocking once again. I'm more poised to answer now than I ever have been in my life. So should all the dominoes fall into the right place, hopefully you will be seeing me live from Olympia under the 0 Point Technologies flag, advocating that we get this clean energy bill signed in Washington state and we get it mandated. And also, I think that because of the research and development that my company has done, we can get past a lot of these loopholes in regards to fossil fuels as natural gas. Natural gas is a part of this clean energy bill and is viewed as clean energy when, in my estimation, it is most definitely not, along with nuclear energy, which is also a gigantic environmental risk, as is evident by Hanford here in Washington state, a nuclear reserve, a ticking time bomb that continues to leak out more radiation every day. It's got to be done. We need to be rid of nuclear energy and of fossil fuels. We can't let these industries try to slip in under the clean energy label. It simply must not happen if we want to build the clean and bright future of renewable energy and a healthy environment that I know I want and that I know a lot of other people want. So I think that my company could offer a lot of valuable insight that might have been missing. And this is something I could offer should I decide to go to Olympia and lobby. It would be a first for me. It would be exciting for me. And we shall see what the future holds. I'll definitely have an update video here promoting if I do decide to go. So, next matter of business, a couple personal updates for you. I continue to be tested in my dreams. If dreams are a test, then I know I'm passing with flying colors. In my dreams, I'm often under a lot of stress, under a lot of pressure. There are people in my past life that are there trying to pull on my emotional cords. And it's just a recurring dream that I keep having. There's all these temptations and all of this pressure that's surrounding me. And I never give into it. By the time the dream ends, I'm usually walking home or alone. So if it is a test, I know I'm passing with flying colors. So today is, I believe, 2 days after my 8-year anniversary here on YouTube. I began on YouTube in January of 2011. This was shortly after only what I could describe as a very swift expansion of consciousness. Something happened to me on New Year's Day, 2011. And as everyone recalls, this is when there was a massive bird and fish kill worldwide, in which birds were found dead, fish were found dead. And upon further research, now 8 years later, it can be revealed that there was some type of magnetic disturbance, and that all the birds and fish that died that day, the part of their brain which allows them to navigate via the magnetic lines of the planet, it was basically shorted out and fried out. So whatever happened to me that day is affected to some type of magnetic disturbance in the planetary sphere, or disk, as some call it. There's a flood of recent media saying that magnetic north is migrating, and physicists don't know why. Really, you guys are physicists, and you don't know why the magnetic pole is moving. You know why. You just can't publish it to the civilian people because you're bound by the cabal. Just like every media outlet is bound by the cabal. They have editors in every local news station, every radio station, unless, of course, you're pirate radio. The poles are moving because there is another celestial force which is causing them to move. And this happens, at least according to history, within a linear time perspective, once every 26,000 years. It's polar shift. And we still have people that are denying it, even as the stars above our head change and are moving, migrating further every night. People still deny this. I mean, 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. And the sun and the moon, we all know and see those. But a lot of people, I still don't think, realize what they actually are. So polar shift is happening. I suggest people get prepared for it. They're saying there's going to be this planetary-wide blackout, and this is where energy is going to play a huge role in the future. So, yeah, this is 8 years for me now on YouTube. I still have not made a cent here on YouTube. Granted, I've had the option to. I just don't feel that the content, the knowledge I share on my channel, I feel it should be free. Now, if I go to Olympia, I lobby for 0 Point Technologies, we get on the map, I can use the channel for more in-depth updates in the lab, media, etc. Perhaps then I can begin to accept a little bit of coin for my work here on YouTube. But until that point, I don't see a need for it, and I have not accepted a cent from YouTube in the past 8 years. And looking back on those 8 years, it's been quite a journey. I've learned a lot. I've learned that I was wrong about a few things that I have claimed, my belief systems. Belief systems are easily shattered, fragile, and it's just a matter of keeping an open mind. And that's why I state that I could be wrong about anything and everything that I state on here. I'm not, so naive as to think that I could be correct about everything. And I know that it's the people that it's the people that never admit they could be wrong that you should really put under the microscope. But yeah, in the last 8 years, I've met some other people online. I've also had this bit of a shadow influence in my life that attempts to spin everything I say into a different narrative and context. Obviously, there are people who think that I'm a complete nut job due to my thoughts about conspiracy, geoengineering, terraforming, which, by the way, geoengineering is a conspiracy no more. And the government is openly admitting, along with the media, that in the spring of this year, 2019, they're going to try and block out the sun. Oh, but it's just happening now, right? There hasn't been geoengineering up until 2019. All of your conspiracy theorist friends that you think are crazy, they're not. They simply have done their own research. Something that you would do well to learn of yourself before dismissing them as insane. All of my conspiracy-related material, I have done a wealth of research on, and there are numerous accounts of evidence which points to it. And as conspiracy theory after conspiracy theory becomes conspiracy reality, I think we're still going to have this divide of people that are complete deniers. See, you have three classes of people in the world of conspiracy. You have your conspiracy theorists who are doing the research, who are learning these, illegal, atrocious truths about what is, being committed against us every day as civilian people. You have the ignorant people or the unaware who simply are unaware, and a lot of the conspiracy theories conflict with their own belief systems. So until they find that one trigger, and everybody has the trigger, that compels them to start learning on their own, they will remain in this denial group. And then we have those that are benefiting from the secrecy of the conspiracy. These people are much like the deniers, except they're not as open-minded. They're much more vehement about it being a conspiracy, about every conspiracy theory and theorist being a lunatic, because they are part of the cabal. They are part of an entity that profits from this illegal activity, from this suppression of technology, from this eugenics secrecy. And those are the three groups of people in the conspiracy world. So naturally, being at the forefront as one of the theorists myself, I come under a lot of fire and a lot of scrutiny until the television and mainstream media says the same thing that I've been saying for the past 8 years. And then some people still become angry about it, even hostile that I was correct about these things. So I hope to be on YouTube for another 8 years. I hope to really take the channel in the direction more of 0 Point Technologies and the development of the stuff that we are working on behind the scenes. And as I said, if I go to Olympia, then 0 Point Technologies will have its own media outlet as well, which is reporting and actively engaged in getting clean energy to the forefront of this state, this city, this nation, and eventually this world. It has to happen. Otherwise, everybody is going to become a mutant. And when I say mutant, I mean, yes, genetic mutation, illness, obesity, disease, because the environment is so unhealthy. This is a change that has got to happen. And I am extremely passionate about making it happen. And I have been since 2011. And even before then, but I guess it wasn't until 2011 when something happened to me that I found the courage to begin living my life in that way. So we have the government shutdown. Trump wants the wall. Democrats don't want it. We have two sides bickering over this, and the federal government workers are the ones who are falling in between the cracks, not finding pay. So first of all, it is a tragedy what's happening to you, federal government workers. However, did you really believe that your federal government would take care of you? I know my father thought that his service in the military, 27 years, would help him live a comfortable life in his golden years. And right now he's struggling to survive. He's struggling to stay out of debt. The Democrats denied the veterans health care bill. Why do we need this federal government, people? Why do we need them when they just shut down on us? Why do we need this entity at all? And the answer is because people have become too comfortable with the idea of letting them handle it. People have become too comfortable with their daily lifestyles. It is the mentality of let them handle it that has led to this government shutdown we are dealing with now. The IRS was claiming that they weren't going to issue refunds. However, that was quickly rescinded because I think that the government realized if people don't get their tax returns, that's going to be the tipping point. Civilian people will organize, they will riot. And it's sad, you know? It's sad that you are enslaved to a life of debt is not enough to compel you to go out and organize and storm these government buildings and occupy. That's the only way it's going to happen is by force. We can protest and meander around and hope that the same federal courtroom, which is corrupt and run by the federal government, will fix the federal government. No, that's not going to be how this happens. It's going to have to come by force. And that's going to take the greatest miracle of all because people have become so cowardly. People have become so comfortable in their lifestyles. And then some will even fight to maintain the system as it is. But much like renewable energy, this is something that has to happen. And I don't know how bitter the civilian people's plate must become before they are compelled enough to do it. You take their income tax away, their income tax refund, oh, they'll do it. But you continue to enslave them to a life of debt, not enough. It's just beyond me. I can't understand why it's not happening now. We see it happening in Europe. We see the Yellow Vest movement, but they're only protesting on the weekend. They're weekend warriors. And then during the week, what are they doing? They're slaving away to debt. The same thing that they're protesting about because they have no other option. The blood money controls everything. And everyone is so afraid to live their life as a hermit that they can't, distance themselves from it. So with the government shut down now, we're going to see which aspects of the government continue to lead the civilian people along, hang that dollar bill in front of them on the fishing rod, and we're going to see which organizations are just completely stopped. I've heard about the TSA are threatening to, give up scanning at the airport. This is part of the agenda. This is part of the illegal immigration. This is part of Islam being used to initiate World War III, which was written by the Masons ages ago. This is all going to happen very quickly. And it won't become evident to many local people in more suburban, smaller areas as it is in the large cities. Large cities which can be completely cut off from the grid and shut down by the military. It's happening already. Think it's not happening? But again, I ask you, why do we need a federal government that enslaves us to debt and that robs us of our liberty and our dignity under the guise of the law, under the guise of the black robes of the courtrooms? There is no justice to be had in this nation with this federal entity controlling the law. There is none. And it's going to take a miracle to change it. But again, how bitter must your plate become before you are compelled enough to do something? So let's get into religion for a moment. So as I've always said, I think there is wisdom in the holy books of the world, the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, and there is brainwash in these books as well. The Mormons came to my house recently, and I asked them, they always come to my house, they keep tabs on me. They have their sisters that come and go. And it's discouraging to me that they come to preach. They come to teach the Book of Mormon. But when I try to teach them something, they are forbidden to learn anything I try to teach them. Learning is a two-way street. And if you are teaching but not learning, you can't expect the subjects you're teaching to learn completely. I've asked a lot of devout Christians about their thoughts on the Book of Enoch, on the Gospel of Thomas, which are not in the Bible. And they all say the same thing to me. It's not God's word. This was not the word of God. That's why it's not in the Bible, even though I feel there is immense wisdom to be found in the Book of Enoch, in the Gospel of Thomas. And I feel that they should be in the Bible. And I said, what gives you the authority or the, I guess you would call it, an opinion to say that these books don't belong in the Bible when you have not even read them? And this is part of that brainwash of religion that I have tell people about. People become so lost in their religion, in the word of God, and that it's absolute, that they can't see anything beyond it. To them, the Gospel of Thomas, the Book of Enoch, it's not the word of God. So basically, it doesn't exist to them. And it's sad. It's limiting yourself. Every religion has the covenant with God. Every religion. You must take the covenant with God. You must take the oath. You must take your vows. And beyond those vows, you are bound. You are limiting yourself. And if that builds your faith, then that's good for you. That's great. Myself, I've been tempted on many occasions to become a Mormon, to become a Mason, to become a Muslim. And I have said no. I don't like to restrict myself to any one label other than independent. That is my affiliation. And it's for that reason I think that I am able to see beyond a lot of these limits which belief systems, religion, fraternity would impose upon you. So I am hoping to meet with the Mason again, possibly this weekend. He has moved very close to me now. He lives just in the next town here. He still shows ambitions, wanting to come on with the company as a Class A member. But he does want me to join the lodge. And I've tried for the last year to get more information, to say, I understand you have these organized dinner events that outsiders can come and view a little more, gain a little more information, meet some of the other freighters and soarers. But I've yet to be invited to one of these. I've yet to attend one. We'll have to see in the future if I do become privy enough. But I only seek more information. I just seek to learn more. That's what I want. And if there's information resonates with me deeply, greatly, perhaps at that point I might join. But until then, I don't have enough information. And I'm not going to swear my allegiance, my oath, limiting myself to anyone or anything until I have complete quantum information, meaning past, present, and future. So that's another thing I want to bring up. Quantum computing. They're spending an awful lot of money to research and develop quantum computers now. IBM just unveiled the first consumer quantum computer, which boasts a lot of interesting features that normal computers don't have. So what's happening is we are right at the threshold of the singularity, at least for some people. For some people, the singularity has already happened. For some, it's happening now. For others, it has yet to happen. But this is quantum. When you enter the singularity, past, present, and future are all convergent into the same moment. You realize that once a time machine has been constructed, it has always existed. And that instead of this linear timeline, the Gregorian calendar in which time moves in one direction, you begin to see that there is a curve in space-time, and that it is a ribbon, a spiral, and it can be folded, it can be malleable. Linear time is malleable. And this is what people struggle to wrap their heads around. It is quantum. When you enter the quantum space, the past, present, and future are all existent in the now, which we are all blessed enough to have the free will to create, to destroy, to decide within the now. There are some sentient entities which exist outside of the now, and they have no power to influence. They have no power to create. They have no power to change. They are bound to the extra temporal sense of time as opposed to linear. So take no moment for granted, everybody. No moment of linear time take for granted. Be thankful for all you have. Be thankful for all you've been given. Be thankful for every breath that you take, every meal that you eat, every drink that you get, because it is finite. And when it does come into the quantum level, those things, they still exist, but not as you had believed them to exist up until that point of linear time. So yeah, that's it. Just to surmise this video, I attended a renewable energy event organized by 350 Spokane and Fuse at Gonzaga University. They discovered that I am working to build a renewable energy future. I am a business owner and a CEO, and they want me to lobby in Olympia. Should I take that challenge and that opportunity, I will be broadcasting live from Olympia right here on YouTube under the 0 Point Technologies handle. I will be telling people, yes, we're here. 0 Point Technologies is passionate about the future of renewable energy in Washington State. We want this to happen, so much to the point that we are here lobbying, as well as being engaged in media, in education, and in the lab as well, developing our own types. Government shutdown. My question is, why? Why do we need this government? Why do we need these parasites? Why do we need this entity that enslaves us to debt, enslaves us under this, ruse of law and order and the past? The system of law, it's all about books from the past. This case, this case, this case. How can you change the future when you are bound to the past? Justice will not be found in the courtroom. Justice will be found at the hands of the civilian people. There's no justice in the pen. There's no justice in the courtroom. There's no justice before the black robes, before the Department of Justice, which is corrupt. Right here, everybody. Here, here, and here. This is where true justice is found for the civilian people. And until people become courageous enough to want to take it by force, this is where we remain. And yeah, lastly, my 8-year anniversary here on YouTube. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I hope to continue here on YouTube, and I hope to continue to spread the message of renewable energy, as well as knowledge, wisdom. To go back to religion for a moment, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. This is truth. This is not brainwash in the Bible. This is truth of the Bible. People are destroyed for lack of knowledge, simply because they are not thirsty. They're not thirsty for knowledge. They're not compelled enough to learn these truths on their own. So, and to close up, I'd just like to say, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you'll hear out what I said a little bit, and I hope you'll see that Zero Point Technologies is going to spearhead the effort for renewable energy here in Washington State. And with any luck, you'll be seeing me from Olympia within the next coming weeks. So until then, thank you all for your time, and be well.